A very tremendous day I've been to the panels and to all members of the floor. Today I will present my final year project, which is the characterizations of crop response to water for sustainable agriculture in small landowners. So before I further ado on my research about, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Perezkov FA15043 and my supervisors are Associate Professor Dr. Faiz Mamaturan and Madam Kartina binti Johan Rahmat. So basically in my research I use Sustainable Development Goals as my core research, which is created by the United Nations, as well as the P5 standard, Green Project Management, and also the 3 Ps, considerable, which is people, planet, and profits. So we move on the introductions of my research. So I would like to ask the members of the floor, have you ever experienced the water crisis that happens in our country? Especially this happens in agriculture industry. Yes, isn't it? So this issue of water crisis is not happening locally, but it also happen globally. Alright, so in order to avoid this, somehow we as a human that stays on the planet must have the awareness on how to conserve the usage of the water, or to use the water in a sustainable way. So we move on the problem statement. So as we know that agriculture is the main consumer of the water resources that we have in the planet, and specifically in the irrigated area, it has used 70% of the total water withdrawals. However, this water withdrawal is not used in a sustainable way, but it has been used excessively, and somehow we waste our finite water resources. Therefore, this research is conducted specifically around Pahang, Malaysia, on how the performance of the crops responds to water, and as well as the sustainability among the small landowners or the other stakeholders related in the agriculture industry. In order to succeed in my final year project research, so these are the objectives that I have created. So the first objectives is to study the amount of water irrigation used to the effect of crop yield using a literature review. And the next one is to develop a conversion table for yield response ratio that I calculated using a mathematical function, and sustainability awareness response of all small landowners and stakeholders related in the agriculture industry. And the last objectives is to analyze the relationship of the yield response ratio against the level of sustainability awareness among small landowners and other stakeholders related by using Pearson correlation method. So in order to find all the outcomes from my objectives, so this is the methodology that I have created. So basically my methodology comprises of 3 phases. So the first phase, I start with the analyzing sustainability parameters and elements using the Sustainable Development Goals and the Green Project Management, the P5 standard, and then doing a literature review to find the effect of irrigated water usage to the crops productivity or the crops yield in agriculture industry, by actually considering they have used this irrigated water usage in a sustainable way. And next, I developed questionnaires, which is the general surveys and interview questions based on the SDGs, elements and the GPM P5 standard. And I will be distributing the questionnaires to the small landowners and other stakeholders related, which I only need 50 respondents, alright, which is specifically around Pahang, Malaysia. And we move on to the next phase of my research, phase 2, and then I will be doing the data quantification of sustainability parameters and GPM elements from the qualitative and quantitative data by using numerical rating. And next, I will do a data normalization, as this I want to reduce the bias in the data. And next, I'll calculate the yield response ratio using the mathematical functions on each of the irrigation water usage using a mathematical function, yes, correctly. And move to my last phase of my methodology in this research is I would like to analyze the performance and evaluate the level of sustainability awareness with response to the yield response ratio, and finally document the data and the results acquired. So based on the first objectives, the result is shown here. So based on my first objective, the result shows that after using irrigation water in a sustainable way, so I found that as the water irrigation use increased in a sustainable way, so the yield response in kilogram per hectare also increased. Alright, so in this, so from the graph I would like to conduct a survey on how actually the small landowners and stakeholders related actually weigh the sustainable way of using irrigated water usage actually affects the crops yield. Alright, so after that I created and find the yield response ratio by using a mathematical functions, which is shown up there, and the value is shown up there. And from the survey questions, so basically in the survey question I asked the respondents to rate the water management practices, and this is the water management practices, and then the total number of respondents that have answered each of the ratings respectively, and finally doing a weightage normalization to reduce the bias, and the last one is the normalization rating. So from here I've calculated this, and I use conversion table to describe what actually this rating indicates to. So since rating scale is a qualitative data, we cannot measure it, so I transfer it into a quantitative data in the terms of yield response ratio. So this is yield response ratio, and is the description and the water irrigation use that I have found in literature review. Alright, so based on the 50 respondents that have answered the questions, so I have plotted a scatter plot on the sustainability awareness to the yield response ratio. Right? So we can see here the scatter plot. Alright, so actually the relationship between the sustainability awareness and yield response ratio is, as the sustainability awareness increase, the yield response ratio also increase. But this scatter plot doesn't show the significant relationship because the data is really scattered. So in order to make sure or to support that the relationship is increasing linearly, so I use Pearson correlation method, alright, to generate a value. So after the result, I get 0.965 value, which is in a positive value. So based on Pearson correlation method, when the value is in positive, any graph shown will be directly proportional, so it's positive. So it shows that the regression line here in the scattered plot has shown it is increasing linearly, or it is directly proportional between the sustainability awareness and as well as the yield response ratio. Alright, to see the accurateness of the data, I have calculated the p-value, which is 0.00. So when the value is less than 0.05, so the accurateness of data is really accurate. So in terms of that, I have reviewed the surveys from my questionnaires, about 50 respondents here shows. So these are the percentage or the pie chart that shows the respondents' response from my surveys. It shows that some of them are really aware about the sustainable way of using irrigated water, and slightly aware, moderately aware, fairly aware, and somehow one is the lowest awareness. So to conclude my research, so basically I have achieved the outcome of each objectives of my research. So from the first objective, the crop yield response to the water is higher when the amount of water irrigation used is higher in a sustainable way. And the second one is the rating has been ranked in terms of yield response ratio to show a significant relationship with the level of sustainability awareness among small landowners and other stakeholders related. And the last one is, with the positive value of Pearson correlation obtained, it is proven that the level of sustainability awareness increase, the higher the crops will respond to the water usage. And the p-valuation that I just mentioned just now is the accurateness, and the data is really accurate since the p-value is less than or below 0.05. So I think that's all from me about my research on the characterization of crops response to water. Thank you.